Welcome and take a deep breath. Tonight, we are going on a journey. Not through books, not through museums, and not through the safe glass of a screen. We are stepping into a world so far away that the very stars above your head no longer look the same. This is not a dream. It is a reconstruction carefully built from fossils, stones, and the stories written in the earth. It is Africa, 3 million years ago. Close your eyes and let your imagination soften. The world you know begins to dissolve. The quiet hum of modern life fades away, the fan in your room, the glow of your screen, the gentle rhythm of the city. All of it sinks into silence. And as that silence deepens, something new begins to take its place. The ground beneath you is not smooth. It is rough and sharp, made of dirt, small pebbles, and dry grass. The air is thinner here, cooler, with a crisp edge that feels almost electric in your lungs. You shiver. Already your body knows this is not a friendly world. When you lift your eyes to the sky, you see something at once familiar and terrifyingly strange. The stars are not the stars you know. Yes, they shine bright, thousands of them, but the patterns are all wrong. Orion, the Big Dipper, Cassiopeia, these shapes have not yet been drawn by the slow drift of time. Instead, the sky is scattered with alien constellations, twisted arrangements of fire that no human has ever named. The moon, thin as a blade, hangs low over the horizon. It is still the moon, you know, but different, brighter, colder, as though it belongs to someone else. In this light, the land stretches vast and endless. You are standing in the African Rift Valley, a scar across the continent made by the earth itself tearing apart. It is one of the most dramatic landscapes on our planet, even today. But 3 million years ago, it was even raw, even more alive. To the west, jagged volcanic mountains rise like dark teeth against the night. Their peaks glow faintly with hidden heat, plumes of steam drifting silently into the sky. To the east, wide plains roll out in every direction, grasslands that shimmer like oceans under starlight. Somewhere in the distance, a river moves slowly through the valley, its waters rich and dangerous. And scattered across the land are trees tall, spiny acacias with their crowns spread like umbrellas, and dense patches of woodland, dark and secretive, hiding both food and predators. Now take a moment and place yourself here, not as a visitor in modern clothes, not as a traveler with food in your bag or a flashlight in your hand. You are small, barely 4 feet tall. Your arms are long, your chest broad, your body wrapped in a thin coat of fur. You are not quite human, not quite ape. You are something in between. This is your body for the night. It is cold, it is fragile, and it is all you have. The silence is heavy, but it is not empty. Listen closely, and the world begins to speak. Insects hum low in the grass, their wings rattling softly in the darkness. Far away, something large moves through the trees, breaking branches with careless strength. You cannot see it, but your heart beats faster because you know, in this world, almost everything is bigger than you, and almost everything could kill you. This is not a safe place. There are no houses, no weapons, no fire, no walls to keep the night away. Here survival is a calculation made moment by moment. Every sound is a warning. Every shadow could hold teeth. And yet, this is also the birthplace of your story. This valley, so dangerous and unstable, is the cradle of humankind. The very ground under your feet is shaping the future, forcing weak bodies to adapt, forcing fragile minds to grow sharper, forcing small groups to learn the power of staying together. From this place of fear, hunger, and constant struggle, the first sparks of humanity are beginning to glow. Tonight, you will live one day in this world. You will wake on the cold ground, aching with hunger. You will move across a landscape filled with giants, elephants larger than any alive today, herds of wild horses that thunder across the grass, strange giraffes with heavy horns, and predators built perfectly to hunt small, slow creatures like you. You will taste bitter roots, smell the smoke of distant volcanoes, and hear the warning calls of birds who know that danger is never far away. You will feel what it means to be vulnerable, to survive only through caution, awareness, and the fragile bonds of your family. And you will catch flickers, tiny sparks of the things that will one day make you human. The curiosity to pick up a strange pebble, the courage to face down a predator with nothing but stones and screams, the empathy to sit beside a grieving mother, and the first whispers of symbolic thought. When a simple shape begins to mean more than itself, this will not be a gentle day. It will be exhausting, terrifying, and raw. But by the end of it, you will understand something important, that survival in prehistoric Africa was not just about strong arms or sharp teeth. It was about the ability to think, to adapt, to stay together, and to carry within your fragile body the seed of something greater. So settle in. Let your modern world fade, the hum of electricity, the safe warmth of your bed, the sense that tomorrow is guaranteed. All of that belongs to another life. Here, the sun has not yet risen, and the night is filled with teeth. Your day in prehistoric Africa is about to begin. The first sensation is cold. It creeps into your skin, slides along your bones, and makes your muscles tremble. You are curled into a ball, arms wrapped tight around your knees, trying to trap what little warmth you have left. There is no blanket, no fire, only the thin fur across your body. Hardly enough against the night air of the high African valley. The ground beneath you is unforgiving. It is hard-packed dirt, littered with sharp stones and wiry grass. Every angle presses into your ribs, your hips, and your back. There is no comfort here, only the dull ache of a body forced to rest on bare earth. You shift slightly, but it does not help. The ache remains, as it always does. Even now, before the day has begun, you are reminded that your body is a compromise. It can walk upright, but it was not designed for ease. It bends and strains in ways that leave you sore long before the morning sun appears. You breathe in deeply. The air is thin, crisp, and almost sweet compared to modern air. It carries the smell of wet earth, a memory of rain from the night before. There is also the dusty scent of savanna grass, sharp and dry, and somewhere nearby the faint perfume of flowers from a tree you cannot name. But woven into all of this is another smell, a strange, metallic temps that makes your skin prickle. It is ozone, a leftover breath of the storm. The earth is not calm, it never is. Your body shivers again, and the sound of your teeth clicking wakes you fully. The night is ending. The stars are still bright, but the horizon has begun to shift. The eastern sky carries a thin, violet wound, the first cut of the coming sun. This world does not give you gentle mornings. Dawn arrives quickly, fierce and urgent, peeling away the shadows in great sheets of light. You uncurl slowly, pushing your stiff body upright. Standing changes everything. The world looks different when you are on 2 feet. The grassland stretches out before you like a sea. The trees behind you form dark walls of safety, and high above, The sky feels immense, crushing in its size, as if you are far too small to belong beneath it. You are small, barely 4 feet tall. Your arms hang long, nearly to your knees. Your chest is wide, but your waist is narrow and round. Your legs are short, built more for walking than for running. You feel awkward, and yet this awkwardness is your greatest tool. It lets you move across the land upright, lets you see farther, reach higher, and carry more than any knuckle walker could. But it also leaves you exposed. Your back aches. Your joints protest. You are not the fastest or the strongest. You are something else entirely, a survivor who must think before acting. The silence of the night is breaking now. It begins with insects, their droning hum filling the air in waves. Then birds, not gentle songbirds like the ones you know, but strange voices, clicks, hoots, deep booming calls that echo from the forest. Every sound is sharp, alien, and direct. Each is a message. This is my territory. Stay away. You listen carefully, because every sound matters. The snap of a branch, the crack of distant movement, these are not details you can afford to ignore. Your ears are always working, even before your eyes have fully adjusted to the growing light. Then it comes, a vibration beneath your feet. It is not loud, not yet. It is a rhythm that seems to rise from the ground itself. A giant is moving. Somewhere, not far away, a creature many times your size is awake and searching for food. Your heart beats faster. Instinct tells you to stay close to the trees. Out there, on the open ground, you are nothing but prey. You are not alone. Nearby, your family, your troop begins to stir. A small group of 15 or 20 bodies huddle together through the night for warmth. You hear their low grunts, the rustle of movement as they stretch and wake. They are your lifeline. Alone, you would not last a day. Together, you stand a chance, though only a small one. The hunger arrives before the sun. It gnaws at your stomach, sharp and familiar. You went to sleep hungry, and you have woken hungry. This is not a new feeling. It is the background of your life. Every morning begins the same way, with a hollow ache and the knowledge that the day ahead will be spent fighting it. You rub your eyes, trying to clear the blur of sleep. For a moment, your vision flickers. A blind spot dances at the center of your sight, a brief, shimmering hole in the world. It is a quirk of your eyes adjusting to the sudden brightness. But here, such a glitch could be deadly. A second of blindness could mean you miss the crouched shape of a predator in the grass. You blink until the world sharpens again. Now you see more clearly. The ground is littered with signs. The fresh imprint of hooves in the mud, the faint drag marks of a tail, the dark patch of soil where the earth was turned over by grazing animals. Each mark is a message. Each smell, each sound, each shape in the grass is information. You are learning constantly, not with words, but with your senses. This is your map of the world, a living stream of clues about where food might be found and where danger might wait. You glance to the sky. The stars are fading, swallowed by the rising violet light of the sun. It is not golden or soft. It is harsh, sharp, a bright slash across the horizon. The colors are strange violets, deep reds, glimmers of orange you have no names for. You watch as the light races across the land, pushing the shadows back into the trees. And with that light comes danger. Because in this world, to be seen is to be hunted. Already you feel it, the sense of being small, fragile, exposed. You can climb, Yes, you can run, a little, but compared to the predators that share this valley, you are hopelessly outmatched. They are faster, stronger, armed with claws and teeth. Your only defenses are your eyes, your ears, your nose, your wits, and the safety of the group around you. The troop begins to move. Soft grunts signal readiness, a quiet communication of intent. There are no words, no sentences, but the meaning is clear. It is time to leave the place of sleep, to step out into the wide grasslands, to begin the endless search for food, water, and safety. And so the day begins. You, a small, fragile body in a vast and dangerous world, stand upright under the strange sky of prehistoric Africa. Your heart beats fast, not just from hunger, but from the knowledge that every moment of this day will be a negotiation between life and death. The night has ended, but the danger has not. The sun climbs higher, the air begins to warm, and with your family close, you step forward into the unknown. The landscape of the Rift Valley, the sun has only just begun its climb. But already the world around you is revealed in sharp detail. You stand in one of the most extraordinary places on earth, the Great Rift Valley. It is not a quiet land. It is a scar, a wound that stretches for thousands of miles, carved by the slow tearing apart of the African continent itself. Here, the earth is not steady. It is restless, alive, forever changing. You feel it beneath your bare feet, the subtle shift of the soil, the faint trembling that comes now and then. Not a violent earthquake, not today, but a reminder that the land you walk on is temporary. The ground itself is a work in progress. Look to the horizon. Jagged mountains rise up like ancient guardians. Their dark outlines are broken by peaks that smoke faintly, exhaling thin white plumes into the sky. They are volcanoes, born from the cracks that split the earth here. Some are dormant, sleeping giants. Others are very much awake, quietly building the next eruption that will one day transform the land again. Each eruption is both death and rebirth, destroying forests, poisoning rivers, but also laying down new, rich soil that will feed life for generations. Between these mountains, the valley floor stretches out in vast plains. From up high, it would look like a patchwork quilt stitched together by nature. Patches of dense forest cling to rivers, their green crowns sheltering countless hidden lives. Beyond them, grasslands roll endlessly, dotted with acacia trees, their flat tops sharp against the brightening sky. Here and there, the land sinks into deep basins filled with strange lakes. Some are fresh and life-giving. Others are thick with salt, shining a ghostly white in the morning sun. The air above them shimmers, a mirage of water in a thirsty land. This is no stable paradise. It is a place of extremes. One day, storms sweep across it, pounding the soil with heavy rain. The next, the sun scorches it dry, leaving cracks in the earth wide enough to swallow your foot. Rivers change their course. Forests retreat. Grasslands advance. The map of the land is rewritten again and again. For most creatures, such instability is a curse. It drives the specialists to extinction, the animals too tied to one way of life, too dependent on one food or one habitat. But for you, fragile as you are, it is a strange kind of gift. Because here, the only strategy that works is flexibility. You cannot be the fastest, or the strongest, or the best at any single thing. You must be many things at once. A climber of trees, a walker of plains, a gatherer, a scavenger, a thinker. This valley is a crucible. and you are its experiment. Breathe in deeply again. The air carries the story of this place. There is the mineral temps from distant volcanic rock, the sweet scent of blossoms hidden in the woodland, the sharp dryness of open grass heated by the sun and faint but ever present, the musky smell of animals' herds that moved in the night, predators that passed while you slept. To you, this is not a collection of pleasant or unpleasant smells. It is a map, a warning, a guide to survival. Now listen. The sounds here are unlike anything you know. The valley is alive with voices. Some are soft, the hum of insects rising in waves, the rattling wings of dragonflies the size of your hand, the croaks of frogs hidden in the reeds by the river. Others are deep and booming, the territorial calls of birds echoing through the forest, the guttural grunts of animals moving far across the plain, and sometimes a sound like tearing cloth, loud, sharp, and frightening, tells you that something huge is awake and searching for food. This constant noise is not chaos. It is information, an endless broadcast from the land itself. Modern humans might find this soundscape overwhelming. To you, it is life. Every rustle, every note, every vibration in the earth is a signal. You do not simply hear. You interpret. The grass moving in one direction tells you where the wind is blowing. The alarm call of a bird tells you a predator is nearby. The distant rumble beneath your feet tells you giants are on the move. You live inside a wall of sound that guides every step you take. Look again at the land. To your left, the river snakes across the valley floor, its banks wet and muddy from last night's rain. The water is slow, thick, and brown, carrying soil and life with it. It is both a gift and a threat. To drink from it is to risk attack from the creatures that claim it as their hunting ground, giant crocodiles, perfect in their stillness. But to avoid it is to face thirst, a danger just as deadly. This is how the Rift Valley speaks, not with comfort, but with choices. Each decision is a gamble between need and risk. To your right, the open grasslands stretch to the horizon. They are beautiful golden waves under the rising sun, but they are also exposed. Step into them, and you can see far, but so can everything else. Out there, you are not a hunter. You are prey, visible to every pair of sharp eyes and every hungry nose. Behind you, the forest waits. It is darker, cooler, and safer. The trees offer food, shelter, and a place to climb when danger comes. But the forest also hides things. A predator can wait in silence, crouched in the shadows, invisible until it is too late. Here, safety is always paired with risk. Here, every choice comes with its opposite. This is the stage upon which your day will unfold. A land of fire and grass, of water and dust. A place where survival is never simple, never easy. The Rift Valley is more than a backdrop. It is an active force, shaping every life that tries to endure within it. Stand quietly for a moment. Feel the scale of it. The valley is vast, almost endless, yet you are so small, so breakable. Your troop is only a handful of beings in a sea of life so rich it feels impossible. And yet, somehow, you belong here. You are one thread in this tapestry, one fragile heartbeat among thousands. This land is not gentle, but it is fertile. It is filled with food, water, shelter, and danger, all woven together. It is here, in this place of endless change, that your kind is being tested. The forces of geology and climate do not care if you live or die. But by shaping the world around you, they are shaping you too. Every tremor, every drought, every eruption pushes your body and mind to adapt, to try something new, to survive in a way no other creature can dot. This is the truth of the Rift Valley. It is not just a landscape. It is the engine of evolution. It is the crucible where humanity is being forged. And now, with the sun climbing higher, it is time to move. Your troop stirs beside you, their soft grunts and movements a reminder that you are not alone. Hunger presses hard in your belly. The grasslands, the forest, and the river all call to you with different promises and different dangers. The land has spoken. Now you must decide how to live within it. The day has barely begun, and already hunger gnaws at you. It is not a passing discomfort. It is not the light emptiness a modern person feels when skipping breakfast. It is sharp, constant, and insistent. It is a command from your body. Find food, or you will not last long. This hunger is familiar. It greets you every morning. You went to sleep with it, you woke with it, and you will carry it through the day. It is the weight behind every step you take, the measure against which all choices are made. In this world, nothing is more important than calories. You glance at the troop around you. They feel the same pull. Mothers clutch their infants close, their bellies hollow beneath their ribs. Juveniles chatter quietly, already searching the ground for anything edible. Even the dominant male, strong and broad, looks restless, driven forward by the same emptiness. Hunger is not just an individual burden. It is the rhythm of the group, the force that moves you all. The Rift Valley may look rich, but its gifts are not easy to claim. The grass that stretches in golden waves is not food for you. It is tough, fibrous, and impossible to digest without the stomach of a grazer. The leaves of many trees are bitter, loaded with toxins. The sweetest fruits are seasonal, appearing only for a short time each year. Every bite you take must be chosen carefully. You begin with the basics, roots and tubers. You know where to look because you have walked this land all your life. Your eyes search the ground for faint signs, patch of leaves shaped just so. A darker shade of green where the soil hides something below. When you find it, you kneel. Your hands are strong, fingers long and curved. They act like tools, scooping and scraping at the earth. You dig until the pale shape of a root shows itself. It is not pretty. It is not sweet. It is fibrous, chalky, and bitter. But it is dense with starch, one of the few reliable packages of energy in this land. You bite into it. The taste is rough, unpleasant, and almost dusty. Your teeth grind slowly, your jaw working hard to break down the tough fibers. Each chew releases only a little reward, but your body accepts it gratefully. This is fuel. This is survival. The others join you. Soon the troop is busy, scattered along the edge of the woodland, digging and chewing in quiet concentration. It is slow work. You spend more energy digging and gnawing than you gain in satisfaction. But hunger is not measured in comfort here. It is measured in survival. Roots and tubers are not a feast, but they keep you moving. Sometimes, when the bitterness grows too sharp, you look for clay. A patch of soft grey earth near a dried stream bed draws your attention. You scrape some with your fingers and taste it. It is gritty, bland, and almost unpleasant. But the clay serves a hidden purpose. It soothes the toxins in your food, calming the stomach. You do not understand the chemistry, but your body has learned the wisdom of this practice. It is instinctive medicine, one of the small tricks that keeps you alive. Still, roots alone will not be enough. You need variety. You search the bushes for berries, scanning for the telltale red and purple shades. But caution guides you. Not every berry is safe. Some carry poison. You remember the sharp sting of illness, the cramps that come from eating the wrong plant. Those memories live not in words, but in sensations burned into your mind. The taste, the smell, the sight of danger. So you test carefully, relying on experience. Seeds are another prize. They are tiny, hard to gather, but they add up. You strip them from dry stalks, chew them slowly, and swallow. Each seed is a small victory, a few more calories in the endless struggle. Insects add to the harvest. When you overturn a fallen log, beetles scatter. You snatch one, crunch it between your teeth, and swallow. It is not pleasant, but it is rich in fat and protein. The young ones mimic you, learning by example. This is how knowledge passes, not in language, but in demonstration. As the troop spreads out, you keep your senses sharp. The smell of crushed leaves tells you where others have passed. The faint hum of wings tells you where insects gather. Every piece of information is added to your mental map. This is your world, not roads or borders, but resources scattered across the land. Your teeth ache as you chew, and you know they will ache for life. The diet of roots, seeds, and grit wears them down. Many of your kind will die from infections that begin in the mouth. But for now, you push through the discomfort. Pain is not unusual. It is simply part of existence. Occasionally, luck brings something more precious. You find the broken remains of a bird's nest tucked in the branches of an acacia. Inside are 2 eggs, small and fragile. You cradle one carefully, then crack it against a stone. The liquid inside is rich, smooth, and full of energy. It slides down your throat, leaving a brief sense of relief. This is a gift, rare and valuable, but the real prizes of the land are hidden deeper. Bones, carcasses, they are locked boxes filled with calories in the form of fat and marrow. But they require tools, and they carry great risk. For now, your troop focuses on what is safe. Hunger is never fully satisfied, but it is eased, just enough to keep you moving. This is the rhythm of your morning, searching, digging, tasting, testing. Each discovery is small, but together they build a fragile balance. The gnawing emptiness in your belly fades, not gone, but quieted. It will return soon enough. It always does. But for now, you have fuel. You can go on, still. The search never ends. Every day is a gamble, a calculation between effort and reward. Digging for roots takes energy. Climbing for fruit risks a fall. Even approaching water to drink risks death in the jaws of a crocodile. But the gamble must be made, again and again. The Rift Valley has no sympathy for weakness. If you cannot find enough to eat, you will not survive. But if you are clever, if you are cautious, if you notice what others miss, you stand a chance. The sun climbs higher as you chew the last of your root. The air is warming now, the lights brighter, the colors of the savannah sharp against the sky. The hunger in your belly has softened, but it is not gone. It never is. It is the quiet background music of your life, always present, always demanding, and as you swallow, you know something else too. Food is not the only challenge you will face today. The land is full of giants, and they are stirring. Already, the ground begins to tremble with their steps. The next lesson of the day is about to arrive. The ache in your belly is quieter now, though not gone. Roots and seeds have given you just enough strength to rise and move again. But as you step out of the patch of woodland and into the open grass, you are reminded of another truth. You are not the only creature searching this land. The ground beneath your feet trembles, and the air fills with a sound so deep it seems to come from the earth itself. You are not alone. The giants are awake. The first encounter far across the plain, a mountain of flesh moves among the trees. At first, it looks like part of the landscape, a shadow, a hill that should not be moving. Then you see the curve of tusks, long and sharp, jutting forward like blades. This is Dinartharum, a cousin of the elephant, but stranger, taller, heavier. Its tusks curve downward from the lower jaw, two great tools that tear bark from trees and dig up massive roots. It rips an entire branch from an acacia as though it were nothing more than grass. The cracking sound echoes across the plain, a reminder of the power it holds. Your troop freezes. You do not run because it is not hunting you, but you also do not draw attention. A single careless step from this giant would erase you without even noticing. The Dinartharum is not angry, not cruel. It does not even know you exist. That is what makes it so dangerous. Its scale is so far beyond yours that you are like an ant at the feet of a passing train. The safest thing you can do is melt back toward the shadows of the woodland, keeping the giant at a respectful distance. The living carpet as you watch, the ground itself begins to move. What you thought was empty grassland shifts into waves of motion. A herd, no, a sea of three-toed horses spreads across the valley. They are Hyperion, smaller than modern horses, but fast, agile, and countless. Thousands of them move together, heads dipping in rhythm as they graze, hooves striking the earth in unison. The sound is overwhelming, a rolling thunder that shakes your chest, a constant drumbeat of life. Dust rises in clouds, filling the air, coating your tongue with grit. You watch them flow over the hills, a single living carpet of muscle and bone. They are not predators. They will not harm you, but their sheer number reminds you of your place in this world. You are small. They are many. If you stood in their path, they would trample you without pause. And yet, they are gardeners of this land. Their constant chewing keeps the grass short. Their hooves carve the soil, shaping the landscape itself. The very world you live in is maintained by these herds, their endless work feeding the cycle of life. Then, on the far side of the plain, another figure emerges. At first, it seems familiar. Long neck, tall body, moving with slow confidence. But it is not a giraffe. It is Civatherium, built not with elegance, but with power. Its neck is shorter, thicker, its body broad and heavy, like a fortress walking on legs. Two great horns curve from its head, wide and solid, weapons as much as ornaments. It moves without fear. Nothing hunts it, not truly. Its bulk is its protection. The way it walks, each step steady and unhurried, tells you that it has no need for caution. It is too large, too strong. Even the fiercest predators would think twice before risking an attack. Watching it, you feel the gulf between yourself and these giants. Where you are cautious, constantly alert, Civatherium is certain. Where you are fragile, it is armored. Where you are fleeting, it feels eternal. The plain around you fills with noise. Not the silence of fear, not the sharp calls of alarm, but the steady, overwhelming chorus of life at a scale you cannot comprehend. The chewing of countless mouths, the snorts of breath, the stomping of hooves, the deep rumble of bellies, the sighs of boulders. It is not music. It is not chaos. It is the sound of an ecosystem in motion, a sound so constant that modern ears would call it silence, only because they have forgotten what it means to live in a world this crowded. Your ears ring with it. Your senses feel crushed beneath the sheer density of life. You stand small, soft-bodied, and almost invisible in the shadows of these herds. And in that invisibility lies your only safety. You are not part of their story. You are an afterthought, a shadow moving at the edges. Their strength, their numbers, their indifference all remind you of your insignificance. But there is something else too. Living beside these giants sharpens you. It forces you to pay attention. It teaches you to notice the slightest change, the sudden silence of birds, the shift in the wind, the ripple that moves through a herd when predators approach. These animals are not just neighbors. They are signals. By watching them, you learn when to hide, when to move, when to survive. You do not worship them. You do not wonder at their beauty. You respect them because you must. They are the stage upon which your fragile life plays out, and they can crush you without even knowing you were there. Standing here, at the edge of the grassland, you feel it heavy in your chest. You are not in charge. You are not the king of beasts. You are not even a threat worth noticing. You are a whisper in a world that roars. This is the burden of your existence. To live small, to live careful, to live unseen. Every moment is marked by this truth. You survive not by dominating the world, but by avoiding it. The giants rule the day, and you, fragile and clever, must find your way around their shadows. The sun climbs higher, throwing long shadows behind the great herds. The air is warming, and the insects begin to rise in shimmering clouds. Your troop shifts uneasily. The hunger is quiet for now, but another kind of pressure grows, the constant fear of predators, because where there are giants, there are always hunters. And while the massive herbivores shape the land with their chewing and trampling, it is the predators, the silent cats, the lurking crocodiles, the circling eagles that shape you. They are waiting, unseen, watching from the grass and the water and the sky. Your day is only beginning, and already the land has reminded you of your scale. Now it will remind you of your vulnerability. The ground is still trembling from the movements of the herds, but your attention has shifted. The giants are not your greatest danger. They are dangerous only in their size, only in their indifference. The true threats are the hunters. They are here, everywhere, though you cannot always see them. They hide in the grass, they wait in the water, they circle in the sky. You live inside their architecture, a world designed not for you, but for them. This is the reality of your life. You are prey. Step carefully. Every sound, every shadow, every sudden silence is a message. The tall grass sways in the breeze, millions of golden blades moving together. But somewhere, one patch does not sway. It is still, it waits, and that stillness may hold death. Your ears twitch. A bird calls sharply, its voice strained with alarm. You freeze. The air grows heavy with tension. This is how your world works, not by open battles, but by constant calculations of danger. Predators do not announce themselves. They appear in an instant, fast as lightning, leaving only screams and blood. So you must learn to sense them first. Your survival depends on it. Your eyes catch it at last. A flicker of movement, a pattern that does not belong. Spotted fur, half hidden, blending with the light and shadow of the savannah. It is a cat, not as large as the saber-tooth you may have heard of, but far more dangerous to you. This is Donophilus, the terrible cat. It crouches low, its muscles tight, its yellow eyes locked not on you, but on the herd of small horses grazing nearby. It waits for one to stray, for a young one to step too far from its mother. You raise your hand, a silent signal to the troop. Everyone freezes, bodies turn to stone. The air thickens, every heartbeat loud inside your chest. If the cat notices you, it might change its mind. You are smaller than a horse. You are easier to kill. Minutes pass like hours. The cat does not move. Its patience is endless. You hold your breath until your lungs burn. And then, slowly, the cat turns its gaze back to the herd. You exhale in silence, and the troop begins a slow retreat, melting into the scrub at the forest's edge. Your heart still hammers long after it is gone. You have survived this time. But the lesson is clear. You are never safe on the open ground. Thirst drives you toward the river. The sun climbs higher, the heat presses heavy, and your tongue feels thick in your mouth. The water gleams brown and sluggish, a winding vein through the valley floor. But you know this place is worse than the open plain. The river is a trap. Its banks are slick with mud, its surface still and silent. But beneath that silence, monsters wait. This is the kingdom of crocodiles, Thorbjorn Sony. A crocodile longer than your entire body. Its skull is the size of your chest. Its teeth are perfect spears, shaped for piercing bone and muscle in one strike. You cannot see it, but you know it is there. Because fossils tell us your kind has been pulled from rivers before. Bones of your ancestors bear the puncture marks, round and cruel, made by crocodile teeth. The record of death is written in your history. Your troop spreads out. Some act as lookouts, their eyes scanning the water, their ears twitching at every ripple. Others cup their hands, scooping quick mouthfuls of muddy water, drinking while never turning their backs. Every second here feels borrowed, as though the river itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to make a mistake. One wrong step, one slip in the mud, and you would vanish in an explosion of teeth and water. The surface would close, silent again, as if you were never there. You drink quickly. You do not linger. The troop retreats, each one tense, every glance thrown back at the brown current that hides too much. A shadow drifts over you. Instinct makes you flinch, your body shrinking close to the ground. Above, wings spread wide. A great bird rides the thermal air, circling in silence. To a modern human, this would be a majestic sight. To you, it is terror, because you know what it means. It is not waiting for you to die. It is deciding whether you are already weak enough to kill. Long ago, a fossil told the story. The skull of a child, tiny, fragile, marked with deep punctures in the eye sockets. Marks that matched the talons of a crowned eagle. That child was carried away from the earth into the sky, its small body torn apart by wings and claws. This truth lives in you like memory. You do not look at birds as harmless. You look at them as predators. Your eyes follow the shadow as it drifts, circling, circling. Only when it slides away on the wind do you let your muscles relax. Even the sky is dangerous. This is your world. Not a landscape of beauty, but a landscape of fear. Fear guides every step you take. You do not walk in straight lines, because straight lines make you predictable. You weave and pause, always ready to change direction. You do not sleep deeply, because deep sleep is death. You rest in short bursts, ears twitching at every snap of a twig. Your map of the valley is not just a memory of food and water. It is a map of danger, a chart of ambush points and kill zones. The tall grass by the river, too dangerous at dusk. The rocky canyon, a perfect hiding place for cats. The open plain, safe only if the herd is near. Every choice is made in the shadow of this fear. It is not an emotion that comes and goes. It is the air you breathe. It is the invisible cage you live inside. The giants shape the land, but the predators shape you. They sharpen your senses. They keep your mind alert. They force you to stay close to others, because alone you are nothing. They make you clever. They make you cautious. They make you cooperative. Without them, you might have lived careless lives, wandering without thought. With them, every moment is a test of awareness, a measure of your ability to read the world. The predators do not mean to teach you. They mean only to eat you. But by living under their constant threat, you are pushed toward something new. Toward thought, toward planning, toward the beginnings of the human mind. The sun climbs higher still. The light is fierce, shadows shrinking beneath the trees. You have survived the morning, but the day has not released you. The hunger will return. The predators will wait. And as the air grows hotter, a new tyrant begins to rise above them all. Not a creature of tooth or claw, but something far greater, something you cannot fight, only endure, the sun. You pause under the shade of an acacia, catching your breath as the heat spreads across the land. Your body feels heavy, tired, but you know this body well. It is not perfect. It is not built for comfort. It is a strange design, a patchwork of old features and new experiments, a hybrid caught halfway between ape and human. And this hybrid body is your greatest burden and your greatest gift. Run your hand across your arm. You are not a naked ape. A thin coat of dark fur covers your skin. It is thick along your back and head, thinner across your chest and belly. It is not enough to keep you warm in the cold hours before dawn. You felt that shivering ache only a short while ago. But it does shield you from the sun now, a soft armor against its punishing rays. It protects you from biting insects that swarm in clouds above the grass. Still, your fur is only a compromise. Too thin for warmth, too thick for cooling. A reminder that you are caught in between. Look at your torso. Your chest is barrel-shaped, broad and round, tapering down to a narrow waist. Your belly swells outward, a roundness that would seem unhealthy to modern eyes. But for you, it is survival. Inside that swollen belly is a long, winding gut, a fermentation chamber designed to pull every possible calorie from the tough roots and fibrous plants that make up your diet. You are not sleek, you are not slim. You are a walking digestion tank. The price of survival is a body shaped by hunger. Now look at your arms. They hang long, almost to your knees, heavy with dense muscle. Your fingers are long too, slightly curved, gripping easily around bark or branch. These are the arms of a climber, inherited from ancestors who lived almost entirely in the trees. Even now, though you spend your days walking the ground, these arms remain your rope and ladder. At the first snap of a twig, the first shadow in the grass, you can launch yourself upward, hands hooking onto branches, to climb into safety that other creatures cannot reach. Predators may rule the ground, but most of them cannot follow you into the sky of branches. Your arms keep that door open. In contrast, your legs are short and stocky. They do not leap like a gazelle's. They do not sprint like a cheetah's. They are steady, strong, built for distance. Not running fast, but walking far. Step after step, mile after mile. These legs carry you across the Rift Valley, from forest to grassland, from river to ridge. You cannot outrun danger, but you can endure. You can move, always moving, until you find food, water, or shelter. This is your lineage's gamble, to trade speed for stamina, to build a body that lasts through the long journey. Not just the short chase, but there is a price for standing upright. You feel it now, the dull ache in your lower back, a pain that never truly leaves. Your spine, once shaped for four-legged movement, is now forced to carry the full weight of your upper body. It strains, it curves, a brilliant compromise. But a compromise all the same. Every step you take is a reminder. Your body is not a perfect invention. It is an experiment, a scaffolding built from old parts, adapted into something new. And that experiment hurts. Look down at your feet. They are not like a chimpanzee's, with thumbs that grip branches like hands. And they are not yet like a modern human's, arched and streamlined for running. Instead, they are caught between worlds. Your big toe points mostly forward, but still slightly out, a half-remembered tool for climbing. Your arch is shallow, offering some support for walking, but not yet the spring of a true runner. Your feet are awkward, but they can do both, carry you across the plains and pull you up into the trees. Not perfect at either, but capable of both. Now look at your hands. They are short compared to your arms, but powerful, versatile. Your thumb is not as strong or as flexible as a modern one, but it can press against your fingers, grip a stone, turn it, strike it. It is here, in these hands, that something extraordinary begins. Because with them, you do not only touch the world, you shape it. A simple rock, once just a weight in the dirt, can become a blade in your palm. A branch can become a weapon. Your hands are not just for climbing, not just for digging. They are for imagining. Step back in your mind and look at the whole of yourself. You are a mixture, a living bridge between two worlds by day. You are a ground walker, searching the plains for roots and seeds. By night, or when fear strikes, you are a tree climber, clutching branches with curved fingers and long arms. You do not belong fully to either world. You are too clumsy for the canopy, too slow for the open grass. But by living in both, you have carved out a niche no other creature can fill. This is your genius, not strength, nor speed, but adaptability. Still, the cost is high. Your back aches, your belly swells, your teeth grind down too fast. You are not the strongest, not the fiercest, not the fastest, but in this fragile body, awkward and aching, is the seed of something else. It is a body that can change its use, that can endure hunger and heat, that can climb when needed and walk for hours when forced. It is a body made not for perfection, but for survival in an unstable world. This hybrid body does not promise safety. It does not guarantee success. But it gives you something no specialist has, a chance. When the forest shrinks, you can walk. When the plain burns in the sun, you can climb. When danger comes, you can switch between worlds and in your hands. Awkward but capable. You carry the beginnings of tools, sharp stones, broken flakes. Objects that extend your fragile body into something stronger than itself. This is what the Rift Valley demands, not perfection, but flexibility. Not the sharpest claws or the strongest jaws, but the body that can do many things, well enough to survive. The sun climbs higher, pressing heat onto your fur and skin. The giants are still grazing, their shapes enormous against the horizon. The predators still wait, silent in the grass and water, and you, in your hybrid body, aching but adaptable, step forward into the next trial of the day. Your belly stirs again, reminding you that hunger never truly leaves. But something else stirs too. A flicker inside your skull, a mind beginning to reshape the world. Your body is a hybrid, but it is not the only part of you caught between two worlds. Inside your skull rests something just as strange, just as experimental. Your mind. It is smaller than the mind of your descendants, about 1/3 the size of a modern human brain. By today's measure, it would seem weak, limited, no more impressive than that of a chimpanzee. But size is not the whole story. What matters is how this brain works, how it begins to reorganize itself, how it shapes the way you live each moment of your fragile life. Your thoughts are not made of words. There is no inner voice narrating your day. You cannot tell yourself stories, cannot explain plans, cannot debate choices in sentences. Instead, your thoughts are built from raw sensations. You see a flash of red in a bush. Instantly, without language, your memory pulls up an image berries, sweet and filling. That memory brings a feeling of pleasure, then a tug of hunger, then a spark of caution. Check the air, check the ground, check the shadows. The entire process takes less than a second. A chain of images, feelings, and instincts all linked together without words. Fast, direct, efficient. It is not less than modern thought. It is simply different, a mind tuned for immediate survival, not for endless reflection. You live almost entirely in the present. You remember things, yes, but memory is not a story for you. It is a guide. You recall which tree offered safe sleep last night. You recall the sting of a scorpion's bite, and so you avoid its shape and smell. You recall the sight of your infant's face, its warmth against your chest, but you do not reminisce. You do not dwell on the past. The memory is practical, nothing more. The future is just as narrow. You know the sun will fall tonight. You know you must find shelter before the darkness. You may carry a sharp stone, anticipating the chance to use it later in the day. But you do not imagine next week, next season, next year. The line of your time stretches from sunrise to sunset, no further. What does it feel like inside your head? Silence. Not emptiness, not absence, but a silence free of chatter. There are no constant questions, no endless worries, no self-conscious thoughts. Instead, there is clarity. The world flows into you directly. Scents, sounds, colors, touches. Your mind does not label them. It experiences them. The smell of damp soil is not damp soil. It is a deep, earthy note in your nose, a signal of where to dig, a memory of water not far away. Modern humans think in categories. You think in sensations. Your mind is a mirror, polished and immediate, reflecting the world without pause. And yet, it is not blank. Your decisions are guided by emotion. Hunger pulls you. Fear halts you. Curiosity nudges you forward. Comfort holds you still. These emotions are not distractions. They are your compass. They tell you what matters and what does not. They drive you toward food, toward safety, toward others in your troop. Without them, you would not survive. Sometimes, though, something new flickers across this silence. You see a pebble on the ground, its surface carved by chance into the shape of a face. You pause. It has no use. It is not food. It is not a tool. But still, you are drawn to it. You pick it up. You turn it in your hands. You feel a strange pull inside your chest, not hunger, not fear, but wonder. This is the seed of symbolic thought, the ability to see more than what is there, to see meaning in shape, to see pattern in chance. It is small, fragile, a flicker at the edges of survival, but it will grow. For you, thought is not separate from the senses. It is the senses. Smell is not just smell, it is memory, map, and decision all in one. The musky scent of a herd tells you food is near. The copper tang of blood warns you that predators have made a kill. Asterisk. Sight is not just sight, it is the detection of patterns and their breaks. The endless sway of grass is background. The single still patch is danger. Hearing is your alarm. Your ears are tuned to frequencies of threat. A snap of a twig, a low cough from the grass, a bird's frantic call, all these sounds are louder in your mind than thunder, because they matter more. Your mind is not distracted by irrelevant details. It is tuned to survival, always alert, always ready. You do not live alone. Your mind is not just for sensing predators and food. It is also for sensing each other. The troop is your lifeline, and your brain is shaped to track its shifting web of relationships. You know who grooms who. You know who fights, who shares, who withholds. You know the smell, the walk, and the scars of every member. This constant awareness is not simple. It is complex, demanding. Your small brain is stretched to its limit not by finding food, but by navigating the delicate balance of trust, dominance, and cooperation. In this way, your mind is already beginning to grow beyond instinct. It is learning politics. It is learning empathy. Your brain is not the largest. It is not the most powerful, but it is flexible. It learns. It remembers not just your own experiences, but the experiences of those around you. You watch. You imitate. You store the lesson. This is why you are still alive. Because your mind can adjust. When food runs short, you shift to roots, seeds, insects. When predators strike, you shift to climbing, hiding, mobbing with stones. When the land changes, you change with it. Your brain is not perfect. It is not even human yet, but it is enough to survive one more day. Enough to keep the fragile line of your kind moving forward. Enough to plant the seeds of everything that will come after. The sun burns hotter now, the air heavy, the light harsh. Your body aches, your stomach stirs, your senses sharpen, and behind your eyes, your mind hums quietly, a mix of silence and sparks, living always in the immediate present, but carrying within it the fragile beginnings of a future. You are not alone. From the moment you woke on the cold ground, you have been surrounded by your troop, your family, your shield, your small island of safety in a vast and hostile world. Without them, you would already be dead. Together, you are stronger, not because of muscle or speed, but because many eyes, many ears, and many hands can survive what one never could. Look around you. There are about 20 of you in total. Mothers carrying infants pressed tight against their fur. Juveniles running and tumbling, testing the edges of caution. Young adults jostling for position. Older males, scarred and broad, walking with heavy shoulders. And a few elders slower, thinner, but carrying the memory of many seasons. Asterisk, this troop is not random. It is a web of relationships, a network of bonds made of grooming, sharing, fighting, and reconciling. It is your world inside the larger world, and it is as fragile as it is necessary. At the center of the troop is the dominant male. He is larger than the others, his chest broad, his face heavy with muscle. He walks with confidence, his head high, his steps deliberate. When he stares, others look away. When he growls, others quiet. But his power is not absolute. It is built on bluff and force, and it can be challenged. If another male grows strong enough, if allies gather against him, his place can be taken. Dominance is not a throne. It is a fragile seat, always at risk of toppling, and yet his role is important. He leads when danger strikes. He throws the first rock when predators close in. He stands tall at the front of the troop, projecting strength even when his stomach gnaws with hunger. If the male projects strength, the females create stability. Mothers, daughters, sisters, their bonds form the true heart of the troop. They groom one another, sitting in pairs or small clusters, picking through fur with slow, patient fingers. They remove ticks, thorns, flecks of dirt. But this is not just hygiene. It is politics, comfort, reassurance. It is the glue that binds the troop together. When tensions rise, when two males clash over food, it is the females who calm the storm. When an infant cries, it is the females who gather close, their touches soft, their grunts low. The troop is not ruled by muscle alone. It is held together by trust, by quiet gestures, by the long work of keeping peace. Your world has no spoken language, but it is far from silent. Every glance, every movement, every posture speaks. A direct stare is a threat. A quick look away is submission. A wide-eyed grimace, teeth bared, is fear. A soft grunt says stay close. A sudden cough warns of danger. The vocabulary is not words, but it is rich and precise. You know what your troopmates mean. They know what you mean. The conversation never ends. Woven into every step and every pause. Touch deepens this conversation. A hand placed gently on a shoulder says more than a sentence ever could. A grooming session may last an hour, a slow ritual of fingers parting fur, searching for parasites, but also weaving bonds. It is trust made visible, loyalty made physical. Look at the juveniles now. They chase each other in tight circles, leaping, tumbling, rolling across the dust. They wrestle, they shriek, they dart into the trees. It looks like chaos. It looks like joy. But it is more than play. They are practicing. Every chase is a rehearsal for flight from predators. Every wrestle is training for strength and dominance. Every tumble teaches balance, reflex, resilience. And beyond the body, they are learning the rules of the troop. Who can be pushed, who must be respected, who will protect, who will punish. Childhood is not safe here. It is short, risky, full of danger. But within it, the patterns of the future troop are already forming. Of course, life in a troop is not always harmony. Food is scarce. Stress is constant. And conflict breaks out quickly. Two males snarl over a root. A female slaps away a juvenile who steals a seed. Voices rise in sharp barks and hoots. For a moment, the air is tense, the troop split by anger. But just as quickly, repair begins. A younger male approaches the older one he fought with, offering a submissive posture, lowering his head, holding out his hand. The elder accepts, and soon they are grooming each other. Anger replaced by reassurance. This is survival. The troop cannot afford to fracture. The world outside is too dangerous. Inside, peace must be rebuilt again and again. What happens to those who fall outside this web? The answer is simple and brutal. They die. A lone figure in this landscape is little more than a walking meal. Without the alarm calls of others, without the circle of protection when predators strike, without the shared knowledge of where to find food and water, an individual cannot last. You know this instinctively. Your very bones tell you, stay close, belong, be part of the group. Because outside the troop is only silence, hunger, and death. This constant dance of trust, conflict, and repair is more demanding than finding food, more demanding than avoiding predators. It stretches your small brain to its limit. You must remember who shared with you yesterday, who struck you last week, who is allied with whom. You must track debts and loyalties, know when to groom, when to submit, when to resist. Some thinkers believe this is the true reason your brain is growing. Not because of tools, not because of meat, but because of society. To survive in a troop, you must calculate, predict, and adapt not only to the landscape, but to each other. Now imagine danger again. The grass ripples. A shadow shifts. A predator lurks. Alone, you would freeze, then die. But with the troop, something different happens. One gives the alarm. Another stands tall, throwing a stone, beating the ground with a branch. Others grab infants, huddle in the center. Together, you become a wall of sound, a storm of chaos, a mob that even great cats hesitate to face. The predator slips away. You survive, not because of your claws, not because of your teeth, but because of each other. In the end, the predators, the hunger, the heat, all are constant threats. But the true stage of your life is this small web of relationships. Here is where safety is found, where trust is built, where comfort lives in the pressure of another's hand. Here is where the mind grows sharper, tracking not only the movements of the grass and the smell of the wind, but the moods, alliances, and loyalties of kin. This is your fortress. This is your family. This is your world inside the world, and it must hold, because the day is long, and the dangers are far from over. The troop moves together, leaving the patch of roots behind, their bellies still half empty, their hunger only dulled, never gone. The morning light is fierce now, and the shadows are shrinking beneath the trees. The search continues, because survival is a journey, not a moment. Every day begins the same way, walking, scanning, listening, smelling. Every hour is devoted to finding food. There are no fields to harvest, no stores to rely on, no fire to cook with. The only food you have is the food you can pull from the earth, pluck from a bush, steal from a carcass. You walk across dry ground, your feet raising dust with each step. You sniff the air, testing it for the scent of blossoms, for the temps of water, for the copper edge of blood. Every sense is tuned to survival. The troop spreads out loosely, close enough to protect each other, far enough that each can search their own patch. The youngsters imitate the adults, digging with clumsy hands, breaking stalks, tasting leaves, learning through trial and error what is safe and what is poison. The rhythm is slow, steady, and relentless. Eyes down, hands digging, teeth chewing. You are foragers, collectors of small victories in a dangerous world. But much of the land's food is locked away. The sweetest fruits are out of reach, high in branches too thin for your weight. The richest sources of fat and protein are hidden inside bones, inside tough skins and shells that your teeth cannot pierce. You are surrounded by resources, yet most of them are out of reach. The animals you watch can access them easily: the gazelle with its speed, the zebra with its teeth, the elephant with its tusks. You cannot. You are soft, slow, and weak. Unless you find another way, your eyes catch it, a rock half buried in the dry earth. You bend, dig it out with your fingers, and turn it in your palm. It is smooth, heavy, satisfying to hold. You have picked up stones before, thrown them at predators, used them to crack nuts, to dig roots. But this time something different happens. You notice its shape. You see not only what it is, but what it could be. There is a sharp edge hidden inside this rounded stone, a potential waiting to be released. You carry it to a larger, flatter rock. You lift another stone in both hands, heavier, rougher, and with a sudden strike crack, the first stone splits, and a thin flake shears off, falling to the ground. You pick it up. One side is smooth against your palm. The other side is a blade, sharper than claws, sharper than teeth, sharper than anything in the natural world. You run your thumb gently along it, not across, feeling its dangerous edge. This is not an accident. This is an idea made real. This is the beginning of something new. The first tools. You do not yet have fire. You cannot shape wood with heat, cannot cook food, cannot harden spears. But with stone, you can cut, you can pierce, you can break open what was once unreachable. This moment is so small, yet so immense, because it means you no longer depend only on the body you were born with. Now you can extend yourself into the world. A weak hand becomes a blade. A fragile jaw becomes a hammer. Your body is still vulnerable, but your reach has grown. The opportunity arrives quickly. Your troop finds the remains of an antelope, already half consumed, its ribs bare, its belly torn open. To most animals, it is only scraps. But in your hand is the sharp flake, and with it, you see something else, possibility. You crouch by the carcass. The smell of blood is heavy, rich, and metallic. It makes your stomach twist with hunger, but it also makes your heart race with fear. Predators could return at any moment. Still, the need is stronger than the fear. You press the flake against the hide. You push, then pull, and it cuts. The skin opens. The muscle beneath is revealed. You slice again. The meat comes free in strips. You taste it warm, rich, salty. It is unlike roots, unlike seeds. It fills you quickly, feeds not only your body but the growing fire of your mind. Others join. More flakes are struck from stones, more sharp edges pressed into flesh and bone. Soon the troop is tearing, slicing, feasting. The air fills with the sound of stone against stone, bone against rock, teeth grinding marrow. This is not scavenging anymore. This is butchery. The roots and seeds you ate earlier kept you alive. But this meat, this marrow transforms you. It is rich in fat, dense in protein, full of energy far beyond plants. With it, you can walk farther, stay awake longer, grow a brain that demands more fuel than plants can give. Every bite is a step toward the future, toward bigger minds, toward sharper thoughts, toward culture and imagination. The cost of this feast is danger, but the reward is survival on a new scale, and yet the meal is raw. There is no fire to cook it, no flame to make it safer, softer, richer. Every mouthful carries risk. bacteria, parasites, invisible dangers waiting in the flesh. But you do not know this. You only know the reward, and it is too great to ignore. The bones crack beneath heavy stones. Marrow oozes out thick greasy, the most precious food of all. Your tongue tastes iron and fat. Your body surges with energy. This is life, pulled from death. The tool is not just for you. Others see what you have done. They imitate, clumsy at first, then better with each strike. Soon, several hands hold sharp flakes, each one cutting, slicing, opening. The knowledge spreads, not with words, but with eyes, with repetition. With practice, this is how culture begins, not as stories, but as actions, copied and carried forward. A skill once learned does not vanish. It is passed to the next pair of hands, and the next, and the next. The sun climbs higher still, and the heat presses heavy. But your stomach is full in a way roots could never achieve. For a moment, you are not only surviving, you are thriving. This is the power of tools. With them, you can unlock what was locked. With them, you can stand in a world of giants and predators and carve out something of your own. You are still small, still fragile, still at risk with every breath. But now you hold in your hand the first extension of your mind. And with it, you have changed the rules of the game. The sharp stone in your hand still feels strange. It is light, fragile, but its edge is sharper than anything nature gave you. It opened the carcass of the antelope. It gave you marrow, meat, fat. It gave you a taste of power, but power does not erase fear. Because meat in this land is never free. It always belongs to someone else first. A lion, a saber, a pack of hyenas. Creatures built with teeth and muscle that make you look like nothing more than prey. To take meat is to take a risk. And today, your troop feels the pull of that risk more strongly than ever. The wind shifts. It carries a new scent. Not the faint old tents of dried bones, but the heavy, copper-rich stench of fresh blood. It hits you like a wave, filling your chest, tightening your stomach. Your hunger surges. So does your fear. You know what it means. Somewhere close, something has just died. And wherever there is death, there are predators. Maybe they are still feeding. Maybe they are watching. Maybe they are waiting for you. The troop halts. The dominant male lifts his head, nostrils flaring, eyes scanning the horizon. The younger ones shift nervously. Mothers clutch, infants closer. The smell is a beacon, a dangerous invitation. Do you obey your instinct to run? Or do you follow your hunger toward the source? You are not the only one who knows. Look to the sky. A column of vultures circles above, black wings gliding in slow spirals. They are the messengers of death, their flight a signpost in the sky. Food here, food now. Other scavengers see it to jackals trotting with their noses low, hyenas slinking in from the far side of the plain. The window is small. Arrive too late, and nothing will be left. Arrive too soon, and you will meet the predator face to face. The decision must be made. The dominant male gives a low, urgent grunt. The troop moves, not away, but toward the smell. You crest a rise and see it below. A wildebeest carcass lies in the grass, its belly torn open, steam still rising from the wound. And crouched over it, its muzzle slick with red, is a predator. It is Dinophilis, the terrible cat. Its shoulders ripple with muscle, its jaws clamped around a strip of flesh. Each crunch of bone echoes like a drumbeat. It is too close. too dangerous. And yet, the meat, so much meat, is only a few steps away. The troop freezes. Every eye watches. Every chest heaves with quick breath. You are caught between terror and temptation. And then, a silent decision spreads through the group. You will not wait. You will take it. This is not madness. It is a strategy, a gamble older than fire itself. You cannot kill the cat. You cannot fight it, claw for claw. But you can overwhelm it, not with strength, but with numbers, with noise, with chaos. The troop fans out, forming a loose arc around the clearing. Each hand grips something, a stone, a branch, a sharp flake. The dominant male steps forward, his chest broad, his voice rising in a shrill, piercing call. It begins. The clearing explodes with sound. You scream, you hoot, you bang rocks together, you wave branches in the air. The troop becomes a storm of fury, a wall of noise and motion. To the cat, you are no longer small individuals. You are one chaotic, unpredictable monster. Donophalis jerks its head up, ears flat, eyes blazing yellow. It snarls, a low rumble that vibrates in your chest. It bares its teeth, its muzzle dripping blood. For a terrifying moment, it looks ready to charge. You do not stop. You shout louder, wave harder, throw rocks that strike the dirt near its paws. Every heartbeat is a gamble. Will it attack, or will it retreat? Then the decision comes. The cat growls, snatches one last slab of meat in its jaws, and slinks into the tall grass. Its tail flicks once, then vanishes. It has chosen caution. The kill is yours. The tension shatters. The troop surges forward, hands grabbing, flakes slicing, stones cracking bone. The air fills with the smell of raw meat, the sound of marrow released from its cage of bone. For once, your hunger is silenced. This is more than food. This is victory. You faced a predator and forced it to yield, not with claws, not with speed, but with cooperation and courage. Each bite is more than nourishment. It is proof that together you can bend the rules of this brutal land. Proof that even the fiercest predator can be outmatched by many voices, many hands, many wills united. But never forget, this was a gamble. If the cat had chosen differently, if it had lunged into your line, if its teeth had found flesh, you would be bleeding in the grass now, perhaps dead, perhaps feeding the very vultures that circled to guide you here. This is not a safe strategy. It is a desperate one. But desperation is the reality of your world. Without risks like this, you would starve. With them, you might live long enough to see another sunrise. This gamble plants something deeper inside you, a lesson written not only in your belly, but in your bones. Fear can be overcome, not alone, but together. A small, fragile body armed with nothing but stones and screams can drive away a predator many times its size. The world is still dangerous, still merciless, but you are not helpless. And that knowledge, that spark of courage, will echo down through millions of years, shaping the future of your kind. The sun blazes high above. The feast is finished. Your stomach is heavy with meat, your hands sticky with blood. The vultures circle lower now, waiting for their turn. The air hums with flies. The carcass is almost gone, and the troop grows restless. The gamble is over, and the risk of staying grows too high. It is time to move. You step away from the clearing, your stone flake still clutched tight, its sharp edge dulled by use, but its meaning sharper than ever. You are still prey, still fragile, still small, But now you know you can stand together, scream into the face of fear, and sometimes, only sometimes, win. The carcass is behind you now, picked clean, bones cracked, flies buzzing in thick clouds. The troop moves away, bellies full, but nerves still raw from the gamble. The sun has climbed high. It is no longer gentle morning light. It is a white, merciless eye blazing from the center of the sky. The air is heavy, thick, as though you are breathing wool. Each step stirs dust that hangs in the stillness. Even the insects quiet now, their hum reduced to a sleepy drone. Birds fall silent in the trees. The wind dies. The whole valley seems to hold its breath. The heat is not just uncomfortable. It is dangerous. It drains you, weakens you, turns every movement into effort. Your brain, fragile and hungry for energy, cannot survive long if it overheats. The sun is not just light. It is a tyrant that rules this hour of the day. Your troop knows this rhythm. Instinctively, everyone slows. The young who played so wildly in the morning now collapse beside their mothers. Adults sink into the shade, backs pressed to tree trunks. Eyes half closed, some groom lazily, fingers moving slow through fur, not out of need, but out of habit, out of comfort. Others simply lie still, saving every drop of energy, waiting for the air to shift again. You to find shade, curling into a patch beneath a thorny acacia. Its branches cast jagged shadows, but they are enough. For a while, stillness is survival, and yet your strange body carries an advantage here. Because you walk upright, only your head and shoulders take the direct hit of the sun. Had you stayed on 4 legs, your whole back would bake beneath the light. Now, your torso is lifted higher, into a layer of moving air just a little cooler than the ground. Your body is a radiator. Blood vessels carry heat away from your brain, sending it down to be cooled by air moving across your skin. It is not perfect. You still sweat. You still tire. But compared to others, you endure. This may be one reason your ancestors chose to stand. Not only for sight, not only for tools, but for survival beneath this merciless sky. But the heat brings a new demand: water. Your mouth is dry, your tongue thick. Your stomach, full of meat, now cries for liquid to balance it. The memory of the river rises in your mind. Its brown surface, its lurking crocodiles. To drink is to risk death, but not to drink is to wither. This is the constant negotiation of your day. Food against fear, water against death. Every need balanced on a razor's edge. Time slows. The shadows stretch again, long and thin, as the sun begins its slow descent. A breeze stirs at last, lifting the heavy air, bringing the scent of dust and grass. Life begins to move again. Birds call from the trees. Insects rise into the warm air. The troop stirs. The tyranny of the midday sun is broken. For a few hours, stillness has saved you. But the day is far from over. The hunger will return. The predators will hunt again. And already your throat aches with thirst. The river still waits, silent and deadly, its muddy banks holding both life and death. The air is lighter now. The worst heat has passed, and the troop begins to move again. Bellies not empty, but not full for long, throats dry and burning. The search resumes, but you are not the only foragers in this land. This valley is crowded. Every tree, every patch of roots, every river bend is already claimed. And sometimes the greatest danger you face is not from predators with claws, but from neighbors who look a lot like you. The scent reaches you first, a musky, sharp odor carried on the wind. Then, as you crest a ridge, you see them, a troop of ancestral baboons, large and loud, spread through a grove of fig trees. The figs are ripe, their sweet smell drifting across the plain. Your troop slows. Your stomach tightens with need. But those figs are not yours. The baboons are powerful. Males with shoulders heavy as stone, faces framed with muscle, teeth long and dagger-like. They bark and yawn wide, showing their fangs. They are not predators, but they will fight. And a fight with them could mean broken bones, deep cuts, slow death. The dominant male in your troop stands tall, a branch in his hand. He shakes it, hooting loud, projecting confidence he does not feel. The baboon alpha answers, leaping onto a boulder, screaming, flashing teeth in a display of fury. The grove fills with noise, a storm of bluffs and warnings. Your troop adds its own voices, screeches and branch shaking, trying to appear larger than you are. Minutes stretch long. Neither side dares to attack, because both sides know the truth. A broken limb, a deep wound, is a death sentence. No fruit is worth that. At last, the baboons shift. Their alpha leads them away, deciding the figs are not worth the risk today. They vanish into the tall grass, and only then does your troop step forward, hands grabbing the fallen figs, mouths filled with their sweet juice. It is a victory, but a fragile one. Tomorrow, the baboons may not back down. Further along the river, you meet another kind of rival. Not baboons, not monkeys, but others like you. They move like you, stand like you, smell like you. Their arms are long, their bodies small, their eyes sharp. Another family, another troop, another group of early humans drawn to the same water, the same food, the same land. The sight of them stirs something deep inside you. It is not curiosity. It is not kinship. It is suspicion. They are not friends. They are competitors. The dominant males face each other first, staring hard, chests broad, voices deep and low. The females huddle their young close. The rest of the troop stands ready, stones in hand, eyes narrow, waiting for a signal. No one moves. The river is wide enough for both, for now, but every drink, every step closer is a calculation, a line that must not be crossed. This is the root of something that will echo into the far future, the fear of the stranger, the instinct that says, they are like us, and therefore they are dangerous. In these encounters, violence is always possible, but often it does not come, because the risk is too high. A bite that severs a finger, a blow that cracks a rib injury means weakness, and weakness means death. So most conflicts are settled by noise and bluff, displays of strength, threats shouted into the air, chests held high, arms thrown wide, stones thrown into the dust. Sometimes this is enough. The other side leaves. You leave, and life continues, but the memory lingers. The unease remains, because the truth is simple. Your greatest rivals are those who want what you want, who live as you live, who think as you think. You fear lions. You fear crocodiles. But at least they are predictable. They hunt for food. They strike from hiding. They take what they need. Your neighbors are different. They compete for the same roots, the same carcasses, the same trees for sleeping. Their danger is constant. They are not only predators of flesh, but predators of opportunity. This is a truth that will shape your future. The world is dangerous, but the creatures most like you may be the ones you fear the most. The sun dips lower now, the air softening with evening. Your troop has food in its bellies, water on its lips, and tension still heavy in its chest. You have faced rivals, both furred and familiar. You have learned that survival is not only about roots and predators, but about competition with neighbors. The day is not done. The light is fading, and soon another kind of challenge will rise, not from rivals, not from predators, but from within yourself. The spark of curiosity, the strange pull toward meaning. The troop moves on from the river, the tension of rivals still buzzing in your chest. The sun is lower now, its light softer, its shadows stretching long across the grass. For a time, the search for food pauses. Your stomach is quiet enough, your throat not as dry, and in that small pause, a new kind of moment arises. You see it first as just another stone, half buried in the dust of a dry stream. You bend, pick it up, and turn it in your hand. It is smooth, polished by water long gone. Its color is deep reddish-brown, different from the dull grays around it. But it is not the color that stops you. It is the pattern, by chance, by erosion, by the patient work of water and time. Lines and pits cover its surface, to dark hollows like eyes, a line like a nose, a curve like a mouth. It looks like a face. You stare. The rest of the troop keeps walking, but you linger. Something flickers inside you. Not hunger, not fear, not thirst. Something different, curiosity. You tilt the stone. The face shifts with the light. It is not alive, but it looks alive. It does not speak, but it feels like it wants to. Your fingers trace the line of its mouth, your eyes locked on its hollow eyes. This is not food, not a weapon, not a shelter. By every rule of survival, it is useless. And yet, you cannot let it go. You close your hand around the pebble. Its weight is small, but the act is heavy with something new. You carry it with you, not because it helps you live, but because it matters in a way you cannot name. This is the first glimmer of symbolic thought, the ability to see one thing and understand it as something else, to see a face in stone, to carry meaning beyond survival. Your brain is built for pattern. You must recognize the shapes of predators in grass, the outlines of fruit against leaves, the sound of danger in a bird's call. But here, that same skill creates something unexpected. You see pattern where none was intended. You see life in stone, meaning in accident. This is the root of imagination, of story, of art. A simple trick of the mind becomes the seed of culture. No one else notices. The troop does not stop. They do not understand why you lag behind. This is not their pebble. This is not their moment. But for you, holding the stone brings a new feeling. A whisper of something beyond hunger and fear. A private spark. A sense that the world is more than teeth and roots. That in the shapes of rock and tree and cloud there might be messages waiting to be read. And yet, this wonder is fragile. A cry from ahead jolts you back. One of the juveniles trips, tumbles in the dust, and lets out a sharp, frightened call. At once, your attention shifts. The pebble is still in your hand, but now your eyes scan the grass, your ears strain for movement. Predators never rest. The moment of wonder is gone. This is how your life works. Curiosity flickers only in the spaces left between fear and hunger. There is no safe room for it, no steady ground where wonder can grow. And yet it survives. a spark glowing quietly beneath the surface of survival. Millions of years from now, others will find pebbles like this one, stones carried far from their natural beds, resting among bones in caves. They will see the same shapes you see now. They will argue, was this just chance? Or was it meaning? Did some fragile mind like yours pause, stare, and wonder? The answer is here in your hand. Yes, it mattered. It was carried. It was held as more than stone. The pebble is still with you as the troop presses on. It bumps gently against your palm, a reminder that even in a life ruled by fear and hunger, there is space, however small, for curiosity, for wonder, for meaning. The sun drops lower still. The air cools. The day bends toward evening, and already the dangers of night are waiting. But before the darkness falls, there is one more lesson to learn, how fragile life itself can be. The pebble is still warm in your hand when a cry cuts through the air. It is not the sharp alarm of a predator. It is the pained, desperate call of one of your own. A juvenile has stumbled on a loose rock. At first it seems small, a simple tumble. But when he rises, his leg bends wrong. The ankle is swollen, twisted, the weight of his body too much for it to hold. He cries out again, clutching his limb, his face tight with fear. The troop gathers quickly. His mother rushes to him, her hands frantic, touching, grooming, trying to calm him. Others circle, watching with tense, unreadable eyes. In the world you live in, a broken ankle is not an inconvenience. It is a sentence. Here, every day is a journey. You walk miles for food, climb trees for safety, run when predators attack. A body that cannot walk is a body that cannot survive. And a troop slowed by the injured is a troop made vulnerable. This is the brutal calculus of your world. The needs of the many outweigh the survival of the one. Some in the troop shift impatiently, already restless to move. The sun is sinking. Predators will wake soon. The decision is not spoken, but it hangs heavy in the air. To stay is danger, to leave is cruelty. The mother refuses to let go. She grooms her child, soothing, lifting him awkwardly onto her back. She is smaller than the males, but her strength is fierce with desperation. She will try to carry him. The troop waits. For a moment, the circle of protection holds. Perhaps compassion wins this time. Perhaps bonds outweigh cold logic. But it is never guaranteed. Every extra mouth is a risk. Every slowed step is a danger. This is the fragility of life, that survival is not only about the body, but about the willingness of others to bear your weight. The truth of this brutality is carved into fossils. Skulls with abscessed teeth, jawbones riddled with infection, spines bent with arthritis, broken arms that healed crooked ribs, scarred by predator teeth. Some survived long enough to show healing. Others did not. Archaeologists call it paleopathology, the study of sickness and injury in ancient bones. And the story those bones tell is one of constant pain. Everybody carried scars. Every life was a negotiation with suffering. And then there are the enemies you cannot see. Parasites crawl in your fur, fleas and lice biting, draining, spreading sickness. Every drink of water is a risk. Invisible creatures swim in the river, waiting to take root in your gut, to twist your belly, to steal your strength. Every bite of raw meat carries danger, worms, bacteria, fever. You do not know these names. You only feel their bite, their burn, their slow theft of life. Modern humans will one day fear germs. You fear the weakness they bring, the sudden fatigue, the endless diarrhea, the fever that burns hotter than the sun. Even your own mouth can betray you. The diet of roots and seeds, hard and gritty, wears your teeth down fast. A chipped tooth, a cracked molar, a rotting abscess, these are not small pains. They are the slow edge of death. Because without teeth, you cannot grind tough food. Without food, you cannot survive. Fossils show jaws eaten through by infection, holes where bone has rotted away. The pain must have been constant, the end inevitable. Life here is balanced on a knife's edge. A slip on a rock, a bite from a snake, a wound from a predator's claw, any one of these can tip you from living to dying. There is no medicine, no healing herbs, no fire to clean wounds. Only the slow, desperate battle of your body's immune system, fighting unseen wars inside you. Sometimes it wins, often it does not. And yet, there are hints of something else, of care, of compassion. Fossils tell of broken bones that did heal, injuries that should have killed, but did not because perhaps the troop carried food, waited longer, protected the weak. You see it now, in the way the mother clutches her injured child. Her hands do not let go, her eyes are fierce. She will not leave him, not while she still has strength to carry. This is another seed planted in your kind. The idea that survival is not only about the self, but about the group. That sometimes the weak are carried. That sometimes empathy balances the scales of cruelty. Still, the truth remains. You are fragile. Every step is a risk. Every day is a gamble. Pain is constant. Illness is everywhere. Death is close, always close. You are a creature balanced on the edge of extinction, surviving not through strength, but through luck, adaptability, and sometimes the kindness of others. The troop begins to move again, the mother still carrying her injured child. The sun dips lower, shadows stretching across the land. The day is ending, but the dangers are not. Because even as you carry your wounds and scars, life presses forward, and the greatest struggles are yet to come: birth and death, pain and hope, the endless cycle of beginnings and endings that defines your fragile world. The sun is sinking lower, and the air grows cooler. The troop is tired, bellies never full, bodies sore from walking, minds stretched thin from fear. And then a new cry rises from within the group. It is not a predator's alarm. It is not the sharp whimper of hunger. It is deeper, raw, a sound of pure agony. One of the females is in labor. She leans against a tree, her legs trembling, her arms clutching the rough bark. Her face twists with pain. Her body strains with each contraction. This is the most dangerous moment of her life. For other primates, birth is easier, the baby slides forward, the mother pulls it out herself. But your kind walks upright, and upright walking reshaped the pelvis. The birth canal is narrow, twisted, a tight passage for a baby's head. And your baby's heads are already large, their brains bigger than those of other apes. The result is a terrible compromise. Birth that is slow, birth that is risky, birth that can kill both mother and child. But she is not alone. Other females gather close. They groom her shoulders, touch her back, make soft grunts of reassurance. One crouches low, ready to help guide the infant out. Because when the baby emerges, it will face backward, and the mother cannot reach it herself. Without help, it might suffocate before it takes its first breath. This is the beginning of midwifery, not a cultural invention, but a biological necessity. To give birth, you need others. Survival here is never solitary, not in life, not in death, not even in the act of being born. The contractions grow stronger, her cries sharper, echoing through the trees. The troop grows restless, anxious, because noise invites danger. But no one leaves. Every eye is fixed on the struggle. At last, with one final shattering effort, the infant emerges slick, small, silent. For a moment, time holds still. Then the assisting female clears its mouth and nose, and a thin, reedy cry pierces the air. Relief washes through the group. The mother takes her child, cradling it against her chest. Her face softens. Her breath steadies. The baby clings with tiny fingers, its grip fierce, its life fragile. A new member has joined the troop, but its survival is far from certain. Infants are born weak, more helpless than any other primate. They cannot walk. They cannot feed themselves. They depend on constant carrying, constant milk, constant protection. Many will not live long. Snakes, eagles, crocodiles all see infants as easy prey. Disease strikes hardest at the young. Accidents, falls, broken bones, any of these can take a child. The fossils tell the same story. Many of the bones we find are small, belonging to children who never grew up. Childhood here is not innocence. It is apprenticeship in danger, and when a child does not survive, the grief is unbearable. You have seen it. A mother whose infant has gone still does not let go easily. She carries the body for days, clutching it against her chest as though it might wake again. She grooms it, touches it, cries softly. The troop grows quiet during these times. The loss is felt by all, even if not understood. Something is missing, and the silence is heavy with absence. This grief is not a human invention. It is older, deeper. It is the ache of bonds broken, the wound of love in a dangerous world, and yet, in a place where death is everywhere, age itself is a miracle. Most do not live long. Predators, sickness, accidents, these cut lives short, but sometimes one survives long enough to grow grey, to walk slower, to carry scars of many seasons. At first glance, such an elder seems weak, a burden. Their teeth are worn, their joints stiff, their body frail, but their mind, their memory is priceless. They know where hidden springs survive in drought. They know which roots to dig after the rains. They know the signs of danger in the air, the calls of birds, the shift of wind. When the land changes, their memory carries the map of survival. Without them, the troop is blind. This is the grandmother effect. Elders who no longer bear children still keep the troop alive, sharing their knowledge, their experience. Their warning calls. Birth and death weave together. Every new infant is a gamble. Every old survivor is a treasure. Every loss is a wound. Every survival is a victory. This is continuity. The thread of life stretched thin, always at risk of breaking, but never breaking completely. The troop moves forward, carrying the newborn in its center, carrying the old at its side, carrying the weight of both joy and grief. The sky is turning gold now, the sun sinking behind the ridges. The day is slipping away. Night is coming, and with it, new dangers. But as darkness approaches, you carry something more than fear. You carry the fragile continuity of your kind, the beginning, the end, and the long, fragile thread that ties them together. The sun slides lower, its golden light stretching long shadows across the land. The air cools, but with the relief comes something sharper, urgency, because in this world, the day is dangerous, but the night is worse. The rules of survival change when the sun disappears. The hunters who sleep through the heat wake in the darkness, and their world belongs to them. You feel it before anyone signals. A tightening in your chest, a restless energy in your limbs. The troop begins to move faster, not toward food now, but toward safety. Every step is purposeful. Every eye scans the trees. The instinct is deep, older than words. Find height before the dark comes. Because when the last light fades, the ground is no place for you. Your troop heads toward a familiar grove, a cluster of tall, thorny acacias standing like guardians at the edge of the plain. The thorns are long, sharp, deterring many predators from climbing. The branches are thick enough to cradle your fragile bodies. The sun dips. The sky bruises purple, and the air fills with new sounds. The whoop of hyenas, rising and falling in eerie laughter. The low cough of a leopard, a sound that seems to come from everywhere at once. The world is shifting hands. You quicken your pace, heart pounding, every shadow now a threat. The juveniles cling to their mothers, their wide eyes gleaming in the dim light. The injured child is carried awkwardly, his mother straining under his weight, but refusing to let him go. The trees are close, and you climb, your long arms reach up, curved fingers gripping rough bark. Your toes press against the trunk, still angled enough to hold. You haul yourself upward, muscles straining, breath sharp in your throat. One by one, the troop follows. Bodies scramble into branches, settling into forks and hollows. The mothers find places to wedge their infants. The dominant male climbs high, choosing a strong limb that allows him to watch the ground below. The climb is awkward, but it is familiar. By day you are walkers. By night you return to the trees. The old life is not gone. It still protects you. The sun sinks completely. The last threads of light vanish, and below you the land dissolves into blackness. What was once a world of shapes and colors is now a vast, formless abyss. The sounds sharpen. Every snap of grass, every rustle of leaves, every low growl is magnified in the silence. Hyenas whooped not far away. Owls call from neighboring trees. Something heavy moves in the underbrush, sniffing, pacing, its footsteps muffled in the dust. Your eyes strain, but the darkness hides everything. You clutch the branch tighter, your heart racing, your breath shallow. This is the price of night. Not just danger, but helplessness. You cannot see. You can only listen and wait, and then you dare to look up. The sky is alive. Without smoke, without cities, without a single human light. The stars blaze brighter than you can imagine. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens. Not a faint band, but a river of light so dense that it casts shadows on the earth. Thousands of stars shimmer, a ceiling both beautiful and terrifying. You do not see constellations. You do not tell stories. You only feel the weight of it, a vast, cold, endless expanse that makes your small body seem smaller still. It is awe without explanation, wonder without words. The universe presses down upon you, and you cling to your branch more tightly. But beauty is not comfort. The air grows cold quickly. The heat of the day seeps away, replaced by a biting chill. Your thin fur is not enough. Your muscles shiver, burning precious energy. Instinctively, you shuffle closer to the others. Bodies press together, backs against backs, sharing warmth. Infants nestle into their mother's fur. The troop becomes a living blanket, a fragile island of heat in the freezing dark. Touch becomes language, again the reassurance of closeness, the comfort of breathing felt against your skin. Without it, the cold would sap you completely. Still, the night does not rest. The valley below vibrates with predators' songs. A leopard's cough, low and harsh, sends shivers up your spine. Hyenas whoop, their calls echoing in packs. Farther away, the roar of a lion rumbles like thunder. Every sound is a reminder, the ground belongs to them. Only the branches keep you safe. You close your eyes, but sleep does not come easily. Every snap of a twig jolts you awake. Every cry in the distance tightens your chest. You drift in and out, half dreaming, half listening. Up here, 30 feet above the ground, you are still vulnerable, but safer than you would ever be below. The trees are your fortress, your refuge against the night. And in this precarious safety, you wait. You wait for the long hours to pass, for the predators to hunt and tire, for the first faint glow of dawn to return the world to your hands. Night has fallen on the Rift Valley. It is cold, it is dangerous, it is beautiful, and it will last forever until the sun rises again. The night deepens. The calls of hyenas fade into the distance. The leopard's cough grows silent. Stillness returns, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the soft breathing of the troop. You are curled against a branch, your body pressed into the warmth of others. Your eyes grow heavy. Your grip loosens, then tightens again, even in sleep. Because instinct knows the danger of falling, and slowly your consciousness drifts. Sleep here is never deep, never safe. You rest in short bursts, ears still alert, muscles twitching at every sound. But even so, your mind changes. The waking world blurs, and another begins. Your body is still. Your brain ignites. Dreams come. What do you dream? Not words, not stories, not conversations. Your dreams are collages of sensation. You are back at the carcass, but the wildebeest is larger, a mountain of meat. The terrible cat crouches beside it, but when it turns, its eyes are the hollow pits of the pebble face you carried earlier. You run, but your feet are heavy, dragged by thick mud. Behind you, the crocodile rises from the river. Its jaws open, its teeth endless. The baby's cry from the afternoon, thin and reedy, echoes through the dream, blending with the scream of the injured juvenile. It is chaotic, illogical, but powerful. Your heart races in your sleep. Your body trembles as though the danger is real. These are not meaningless terrors. They are rehearsals. Every dream of the cat in the grass sharpens your waking eyes. Every nightmare of falling trains your grip to hold tighter in the dark. Every memory replayed strengthens the neural paths that keep you alive tomorrow. Dreaming is not wasted time. It is survival in another form. Your mind, even in rest, is working, sorting, strengthening. Modern humans dream in words, in dialogues, in stories. But your dreams are different. They are wordless. They are made of images, sounds, smells, emotions, the copper tints of blood, the glare of a predator's eyes, the feeling of safety in your mother's arms. Each dream is not a tale told, but a lesson lived again, compressed into flickering moments of sensation. Sometimes your dreams feel older than you. The fear of snakes, though you have never been bitten. The panic of eagles, though you have never been taken. These too live in your mind. Perhaps they are instincts wired into your brain by countless generations. Perhaps they are the echoes of 1,000 deaths your ancestors endured in dreams. They rise again, shaping your fear, shaping your vigilance. Some say this dreaming is the first canvas of imagination. Long before art, before myth, before words, there were dreams. Places where fear, hunger, and wonder mixed into strange visions. Places where meaning was born, not through reason, but through feeling. When you dream of the cat with pebble eyes, you are making the first connection between two unlinked things. This is the root of symbol. This is the root of story. A sudden snap in the branches below jerks you awake. Your eyes open wide, your chest heaving. For a moment, the dream still clings to you, the cat, the blood, the cry. Then it fades, replaced by the real darkness, the real rustle in the leaves. The troop stirs, heads lifting, ears twitching. You wait, silent, until the sound passes. A small animal only, not the predator your dream warned of. But the lesson remains. By dawn, you will not remember the dream clearly. It will dissolve like mist, but its effect will remain in sharper senses, in stronger fear, in deeper caution. Your dreams are not stories to be told. They are survival training, a nightly software update for a fragile mind in a brutal world. The stars are still burning above. The cold bites into your fur. The troop huddles closer, breathing in rhythm. And within your silent mind, dreams continue, each one a rehearsal, each one a preparation. You do not know it, but this simple act of sleeping and dreaming is one of your greatest strengths. It turns fear into learning. It turns memory into skill. It turns chaos into survival. And when the grey light of dawn finally comes, your eyes will open sharper, your grip will be tighter, your mind better prepared for the day ahead. The night is long, but dawn comes at last. The first grey light seeps across the horizon, filling the valley with soft colour. Birds stir, insects hum, the chill of night lifts, and the world begins again. You wake stiff, cold, your fur damp with dew. Your back aches from the branch. Your belly, once heavy with meat, is already hollow again. Hunger is waiting, as it always does. You survived the night, but now a new day begins. Think back on the last cycle of sun and moon. The shivering dawn, the bitter roots, the giants grazing across the plains, the crouched cat in the grass, the gamble at the carcass, the crushing heat of midday, the rivals at the river, the pebble with its strange, face-like lines, the cries of pain, the screams of birth, the darkness and the dreams that sharpened your fear. This was only one day in the life of an early human, and already you feel the weight of it, the exhaustion, the danger, the thin line between life and death. Now imagine not just a day, but a lifetime. 10 years, 20 years, if you are lucky. Every sunrise a struggle. Every night a prayer to the branches. Every step a risk. This is why you would not survive. Not because you are weak. Not because you lack courage. But because you belong to another world. A world of shelter and tools, of medicine and fire, of memory written in words. Your body, your mind, your comforts, all are shaped for today, not for this. The Rift Valley was not gentle. It was not forgiving, but it was a teacher. Its shifting land, its harsh cycles of drought and flood, its endless predators, its rivals and neighbors, all of these shaped the fragile bodies of your ancestors. They forced adaptation. They demanded cooperation. They planted seeds of curiosity and courage. Without this crucible, there would be no you. You are the product of that instability, of those fragile bodies, those cautious minds, those troops huddled in the dark. Your roots run back to this valley. Every thought you have, every story you tell, every star you name in the sky, all trace back to this place, to this kind of day. Fear ruled this world. But fear was not just a prison. It was a guide. It kept your ancestors cautious. It made them clever. It forced them to cooperate. Out of fear came vigilance. Out of vigilance came awareness. Out of awareness came imagination. And out of imagination came humanity. This is the paradox of survival. The very thing that haunted every step, that filled every night with terror, was also the force that lit the path forward. And now, you return from that path. The Rift Valley fades. The grasslands dissolve. The cries of hyenas and the cough of leopards grow quiet. The cold branch beneath you softens. The weight of hunger, fear, and fragility lifts slowly, like mist under morning sun. You are back in your own world. Safe walls, steady ground, a sky still filled with stars, but stars arranged in patterns you recognize. Constellations named, stories told. You carry with you the memory of that day, a day that felt endless, a day of trial and fear, but also a day of wonder, of connection, of beginnings. The title of this journey was never a question. It was an answer. You would not survive a day in prehistoric Africa, not because you are less than your ancestors, but because you are different. Your comforts, your tools, your fire, your medicine, these are what let you live long. Safe, quiet lives. Take them away and you would fall. Your skin would burn, your stomach would fail, your senses would miss the cat in the grass. Your body would ache, your mind would panic. Your courage would not be enough. But they, those fragile, cautious, clever beings, did survive. And because they did, you are here. So rest now. The day is over. The Rift Valley, with its giants and hunters, its hunger and wonder, can fade into dream. No, only this. Life survived there, against every odd. Not by strength, not by teeth or claw, but by flexibility, by cooperation, by the fragile brilliance of minds just beginning to spark. Close your eyes. Let the echoes of that day drift away. The predators are gone. The cold night has passed. The sun has risen in your own time, and you are safe. Because once, long ago, they were not, and still they endured.